Sermon on the Mount. I mean, because he said no, I know he knows, and he's holding out. If he's holding out, who wants a God that'll do that to you? Well, I've had people come to me and talk to me about how God has held out from them. I prayed to God for my ticky-tacky thing. They weren't ticky-tacky. When I want them, they're not ticky-tacky. They're matters of life and death all the time. I mean, I know it has to do with punctuating a sentence, but that's important now because I'm after a grade. So you get a D on the test, the grade, you look at the paper and you throw it away. You don't even go back and correct and learn what the correction was. You got your grade, you threw it away. That's how much we're in line to receive information from God. Of course, a big question comes up, can God speak? Does God speak? Will God speak? I know he can. I think he does, but will he? Will he say it in such a way that I can get it? Well, I don't know if he's going to say it in such a way that you can get it. He says it in such a way that it's possible to get, and I don't know if you can get it. If it's got to come in a certain way called, I'm at the roulette table, I'm putting the money, the coin, the chips on the number, God, which number should I put it on? And you don't hear anything, you don't put it on 0. I mean, how else will God say 0 if he says nothing? So nothing is 0. If you ask him twice and you hear 2 nothings, put it on double 0. Now, that's obvious that we are interpreting what we're getting from the spiritual world and corrupting it to our own self-conscious advantage the way we see it in that moment. But is it to our advantage? It gets to be rather questionable. There are so many times that I'm sure all of you have been involved in situations wherein you needed help from God, and you searched sacred scriptures. The Holy Writ was there, and you picked up maybe the 23rd Psalm. Yea, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I will fear no evil. And you're just scared to death all the time you're reading it. You're afraid your wife's out on you, your husband's out on you, the kid's out on you, your money's out on you, the car's out on you. You'll fall out of the airplane, it won't get off the ground, you'll be late for the trip, you'll drown in the ocean, the fish won't bite. All your clients won't show up. When you do say something, you look bad, you'll show up late, you'll be even worse, you'll say things wrong, they're going to take you, they're going to do it to you. And then it says, I shall fear no evil. See, that's got to have a little bit of nonsense stuck in it. It's called, I'm clear full of fear, and I don't know if it's evil or not. I'm just full of whatever it is I'm full of. And it's fearful. My cup runneth over with fear. Absolutely. Fear, all day, all night, fear, 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 fear. People say, do you want to go to the movie? I go, I'm fearful that it won't even start on time. I'm afraid I won't like it. I'm afraid afterwards when we go to eat, the food won't be what I want on the menu. I'm afraid the place will even be closed. I'm afraid I won't have enough money to buy what I really want because I'm just really afraid about all that. No, I won't go to the movie. I'll stay home. But what if somebody comes in the house and robs me? Maybe I better go to the movie. At least they got to rob me in public. I can get more people to say who the person looked like. There's a better chance of getting them. And what I'll do is I'll say with my Polaroid. When they're robbing me and they're not watching, I'll take a shot. I shall fear no evil. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. That's not true. We grab a hold of it and we're just now got something to hang on to while we shake with fear. If we go through the 23rd Psalm, you know, the Lord is my shepherd. That means he knows what's going on. That means I'm some sort of an animal. Look at the implication of the statements. You're not supposed to know any better. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I don't have to walk through any valley. I just walk in my front yard and I feel like I'm dying. Can you understand that we have been promised these things? And that's a beautiful one. And I did another one, a whole different interpretation of the 23rd Psalm that showed the truer meaning of that and why that is true and why it is so for us and why if we start to move that way, life becomes beautiful and bountiful. I could never figure out those, why the Lord would prepare a table for me in the presence of mine enemies. Something strange about that approach. Fix a table for me, it's real good, no other food around, and they're going to come and slit my throat, stab me, shoot things in my back, poison it, do something, take me down, beat me up. I'm not going to be able to enjoy this food. I don't care how good it is. Can you understand that when we're out of sync with the reality of God's loving, it doesn't matter how good it sounds, it's no good. And that's why the teachings that I deal with, they're not my teachings. These are the teachings of Spirit. I would love to be able to tell you, these are John Roger the man's teachings, and therefore aren't I wonderful? I may be all that, but these are not my teachings. These are our teachings that the Spirit brings to us and says to us, yes, it's nice that you can recognize a supreme, omnipotent God, but also recognize that you're part of that. And that is in other things is also in you. And you can dwell in the house of God forever because you're dwelling in that house now. You just happen to be outside in the servants' quarters. That's all. But you can get in periodically. Well, how am I going to get in there? If you're in the servants' quarters, there's some implication about being in the servants' quarters. That implication is serving. That implication is having a willingness to serve, and it's serving whatever is given to you to serve. If this beautiful woman called my wife is being given to me to serve, then why should I demand that she sit at some other table than the table of plenty that God has provided for her? Why am I not happy that serving in the Lord's house and feeding the anointed one is my blessing amplified beyond words? Then they say, you're not even worthy now to serve the least one in the house of the Lord. You say, what have I done? You didn't do it willingly. You didn't do it lovingly. You didn't do it with a heartfelt concept of service. We say, give me another chance. He says, this is 5 million. How many more do you want? Another 5 million. Be generous. I was generous at 2.5 when I gave you another 2.5. At what point do we stop giving other people chances to grow at our expense? And when do we beseech the one giving us chances to continually give us chances to grow? We stop passing on the chances to grow when we stop asking for the chances to grow. I've never stopped asking for the chance to grow. Lord, I would hope, if I do, I hope somebody says, ask for a chance to grow. That allows me then to give everyone around me one more chance to grow. And maybe this one will be so absolutely perfect that I will be going to them saying, will you give me a chance to grow in your love and in your light? If they say yes, I'm again blessed above all other people. Because being given that opportunity to serve from the place of serving, not from the idea of when they're through eating, I can have scraps off the table and that's really why I work here. That won't work. You can't fool this presence of Spirit that is in us, around us, all. The Spirit in you talks to the Spirit in me And